Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join me and my never-ending week. It'll be over soon. Just literally recorded the Patreon Q&A in the only 30-minute gap. But we've got a bit of time to talk about the League One playoff picture, and we're going to bring back in. He was very popular last Friday. Cods Vlogs, Nappers, Ben. What am I going to call you?
Just call me Ben. Just
gets confusing, doesn't it? How you doing? How's your playoff week been?
It's been good. Obviously, I did my predictions on Monday and I uploaded them. And a funny story, I bottled them. I was going to put Lincoln Blackpool in the final. I thought, I don't really want the hassle of Sunderland final. And I thought maybe Lee Johnson can do something, and then change my mind. And what happens? I think that saying "never change your mind" comes in. And
first instinct, don't second guess yourself. And yeah, very different in terms of League One to the Championship, where we got the tight games in the Championship, and I bigged it up to be as tight in League One. But as we're going to discover, it wasn't, and we've got two very, very strong favourites now going into the second leg. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at the first games. Then we'll see if we can predict anything other than the blindingly obvious in the second games, in terms of the actual tie. And then we'll do some questions if you're still into that. Let me know that you can see me, hear me loudly and clearly. Have your say in the chat as ever. Before we go any further, as this is a preview show, let's say a big thank you to the Donovan brothers in loving memory of Michael of South East London, lifelong Millwall fan and admirer of this show. They got involved over on Patreon. You can do the same. Patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Q&A. The Thursday Q&A is going up. Yes, I know it's Friday today. You can get involved via Super Chat any point in the broadcast. Being Ben is giving up his time, we'll obviously split any Super Chats that do come in. So you wouldn't just be supporting me, you would be supporting him as well. Hit subscribe, like, ring the bell, and go and do the same over at Cods Vlogs as well. So game number one, Ben. Should we just say some? Let's just quickly say some hellos in the chat here. Liam, Chris, Carl. Hello, the two Bens. Leeds 2021. Mr. E, James, QPR forever. Napper's mum. You can always find her. Hey, Mark, and I think we're all done. Keep questions coming in. We'll stock them up and we'll do them all at the end. But first of all, it was Tuesday night and it was Oxford 0, Blackpool 3. Oof, ouch. We'll go in granular detail, Ben. How much of a surprise was a bit of a 3-0 hammering for you for Oxford?
Very surprised. And I thought Blackpool would win, but I didn't think Blackpool would win by 3-0. And, Ollie Turton, who, again, defended, not normally on the scorecast, gets himself in the right position, scores. And Ellis Sims, again, 2 goals. Has been brilliant, hasn't he, since joining on loan from Everton? I think that's 9 goals now. And on a good little run the last 3 or 4 games, and helping Jerry Aikes out, spread the goals. And it was a decent game, really. Oxford made little work of it. They had 1 chance, and Maxwell made a superb save. Other than that, I thought they were poor, Oxford.
Yeah, and I've been trotting out my normal cliches, Ben. Tournament football, play the penalty boxes, take your chances, ride your luck, don't take any risks. And Blackpool nailed it, didn't they? Here are the teams. It was Stevens, Hanson, Moore, Atkinson and Ruffles, Sykes, Brannigan, Henry, Lee, Taylor and Barker. Plenty of sort of running power and attacking emphasis from that midfield position. But, the game was certainly won in the penalty box, and it was certainly won by the Blackpool front 2 in the end. Maxwell in goal for Blackpool, who you'd bigged up before the game, Ben. Turton, Ballard, Husband and Garbutt. A left-back, heavy back 4 there. Embleton, Stewart, Dougal, Yates and Sims, I didn't really perceive it as a 4-3-3. I thought it looked more like an orthodox 4-4-2 with a front two. But hey, I won't argue with SofaScore. They've got the GPS statistics, haven't they? And it was just one of those playoff games, Ben, where you do all that work over 46 games and then within the first 30 minutes, and it's a big mistake by Ruffles, who gets all at sea, doesn't he, with the left foot, and it's easy for Turton. Up until, talk to me about the goal, Ben, and up until then, fairly even Steven. I think Anderson had gone through and had a little bit of a chance at that point, but it wasn't exactly dominant up until this first goal, and then the second goal is going to follow quickly after.
No, I think Oxford started bright, didn't they? They were up in the tempo. They had a chance at Husband got a yellow card in the first 2 or 3 minutes, and they didn't really do anything with the free kick. And I think we said, didn't we, how crucial set pieces would be last week, and Blackpool scored their first goal from it. And it was an even game, but in the playoffs, it's all about that first chance, and they scored it. And Oxford had it all to do in the first half, really, and they have to come out then at 2-0, and then Blackpool again catch them out on the counter attack. They do like to score goals from all different types, and Oxford, I'm very aware of how a 3-goal swing defeat in the first leg of a playoff field after last year. So it's always going to be difficult to turn. But like I say, Blackpool this season have gone behind 13 times. Oxford have gone behind 20 times. Oxford have only won 4 of the 20 and lost 14. So it was always going to be difficult when they went 1-0 behind, never mind 3-0 behind.
It's the second goal. This is one of those two things can be true goals, isn't it? Where you got to give Sims credit. He lifts it over. He's on the move. It's really just comes from a simple ball in the channel. I was a bit disappointed with Moore, who just doesn't come out and close him. And he's in complete no man's land. Little deflection on that. Are we in two things can be true? We praise Sims, but defending wasn't great, was it?
No, but I think you've always got to give the credit for the attacker to get the shot on goal. If you're getting on target, hard and low, you're giving the keeper something to work with, and the deflection probably won't help that. Obviously, defensively, Oxford were a bit of a shambles in times the other day, and Blackpool were very organised. He never looked like conceding, barring that one chance that Maxwell saved. But I think you got to give credit to Ellis Sims's movement. He was lively, he got into the box, he took risks, and made Moore make a mistake. But would he normally make a mistake if it was a league game? I don't think he will. I think it can be down to nerves, if anything. You don't want to do anything wrong. And if he came out, Sims could go on the inside and get a free shot on goal. So it was always going to be difficult. But I think a bit of both, but more credit towards the striker for me.
Agreed. And it's just that awful bang, bang. And you saw Carl Robinson's face on the side, and it was like, oh, what is happening? You mentioned it's a great chance for Sykes there going through in the second half. There's another one for James Henry as well. Maxwell stands up well. Nice little half foul hand in the back there, but not enough to send him down, but enough to put him off. And then absolute classic killer sucker punch, whatever you want to call it. It's really good from Yates and Sims up top. They work the counter beautifully. It's a real straightforward run, straight ball through, and just killer from Yates and Sims up top, wasn't it?
Absolutely, and that positioning by Maxwell is absolutely superb. You saw Henderson's positioning for Sellers' goal the other week, and it was awful. That is superb positioning, because you can't go. He's narrowed off pretty much every angle he can do. He's got up big. He's come out, narrowed the angle. Superb positioning. And Blackpool, superb stuff. Normally they like goals from different areas of the pitch, which is good about their game, which impressed me every time I watched them. And then Yates, superb. He's like a bulldog. He just never leaves you alone. He runs and runs for everything. He scores goals. He just does everything. He puts Sims through, and Sims with a great finish to make it 3-0, which it looks an easier finish, but at 2-0 in a playoff game, 3-0 is a huge goal. And we've seen Oxford come down from 2-0 down this season in previous games as well. So, that third goal is crucial, because Blackpool do have a tendency of losing a 2-0 lead, as we saw against Lincoln recently, and they lost when they played Doncaster away. They were 2-0 up and lost 3-2. So that third goal in the tie is a huge goal.
I don't know about League One. I've just done my championship stats for second legs. 8 comebacks in 62, none of them from more than 1 goal going in. So that's how it is in the championship. We can sit here and say in the championship, no one has ever come back from more than a 1 goal deficit going into the second leg. I don't know how it plays for League One. Here's the numbers then, and I'll just draw you straight to the big chances stat. Look at that. Big chances, Blackpool 4, Oxford 1, and it's penalty boxes, isn't it? 11 shots, 1 on target for Oxford. Blackpool 4 on target, but the 4 big chances, and just penalty box story. And we haven't mentioned as well, Yates had a chance on the back post as well that was equal to maybe the chances for Sykes and for Henry as well. So what's your summary of that one then, Ben? Blackpool nail it, or a horror show for Oxford, or both, or
a bit of both. I thought Oxford wanted. I think they thought they needed to win the game because Blackpool are very good at home. They've only lost 1 game since early on in the season, and that was to Shrewsbury. 1 defeat, I think, since October, November time. So they've been very, very good. They don't concede many goals. They thought they needed that goal, and Blackpool got that goal, unsettled Oxford a bit. They have to come out. Blackpool get the second. I thought tactically by Neil Critchley, it was a masterclass. I really thought how he got his side set up was brilliant. Defensively, they looked sound. Midfield, they looked compact. They had the wingers to bounce off as well. They had the 2 strikers to hit as well. So I thought it was superb play by Blackpool, and they deserved the win, and it could have probably been more. But it's going to be interesting to see how Oxford come out tonight. They need a goal. They need a reaction. I saw Fleetwood last year losing 4-1. They came out a little bit better, but Blackpool's game kind of is better when teams come at them instead of sitting in, and that'll suit Blackpool tonight, especially in front of 4,000 fans as well.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, Ben. And even the little detail at the end where he finished the game with 2 right backs on just to close down Barker on the left as well. It was honestly, I've said this a million times on the Blue Monday podcast when we're talking about League One. Sometimes you can overcomplicate it. And yes, you have Coventry knocking the ball around last season, but when you watch Blackpool, it's quite straightforward, isn't it? Not too many risks, strong defensive line, 2 good forwards, quite happy to play the channel. And you've got Oxford trying to knock the ball around and use the deep line playmaker who was Brannigan, wasn't it? Who barely got into the game at all. And sometimes in League One, simple is better, isn't it? Would you agree?
Yes, and Blackpool wanting to play kind of the Liverpool under-23s way when Krissy first joined. And they only won 1 in the first 7 or 2 wins in the first 9. They brought Colin Calderwood in, and a lot of Blackpool fans thought, right, he's coming to basically replace Critchley, because that's how bad they were at the time. And he's come in and he's just kind of put that little bit of simple effect on it, just going, if you can't play the pass, go back, keep the ball, then try again. And it works. Simple football in League One, it works. If you have a striker that can score goals, Jerry Yates, if you've got a good defence and a good goalkeeper, Chris Maxwell, Dan Ballard, Marvin Ekpateta, Luke Turton, James Husband, Luke Garbutt, for example, they have all the players to fit that simple system in. And I think the way that he's got them playing is fair play to them. And I think they're the best team in the playoffs. And if you beat Blackpool, I think you go up, as simple as that.
There you go. I think there's going to be a few in the Championship won't mind Sims next season. I don't see him getting anywhere near Everton. So yeah, that's one to keep on. Mr. E on the evidence of the first leg. Blackpool will score at least once in the second leg. Great to see a double threat up front for the Tangerines. Yes, it's all very well in the 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 days if you get men forward, but you do often see an isolated striker. Why would Bristol City be a more attractive proposition than a Championship-bound Blackpool? I don't disagree with that, Iain. Yeah, if he's already in there, ingrained and doing well. Right, let's have a look at the second game then, Ben, which was Lincoln 2, Sunderland 0. This on Wednesday night. I've watched too many games of football this week. Let's go through the teams first, because lots of eyes on Joseph Bursick, emergency loan goalkeeper alert. Paul, Jackson, Ioima, Teo Aiden, Grant, Bridcut, Johnson, Scully, Hopper, and Rogers in there for Lincoln. For Sunderland, Burge, O'Neill, Wright, Flanagan, Hume, Power, Scowen, Jones, Gooch, McGeady, Wyke. Any surprises or anything in those lineups, Ben? And talk to me about the presence of an emergency lone goalkeeper that I thought Captain Liam Bridcut did a very good job chaperoning through the game.
Absolutely, and we talked about how good Bridcut was. We talked about Grant, Morgan, Rogers, players like that of that ilk, and doing really well, scoring goals. But Bridcut is, it's literally like a League One N'Golo Kante. He just does all the hard yards. He gets back, sits in between the back four, can make it a back five, gets up to help the attacking players as well. And I think he's a superb player for this level. And I think they've won 80% of their games when Bridcut has been in the side. So, it's a superb acquisition for them this season. But I thought the goalkeeper, Bursick, was outstanding. Every cross that he came for, he came with confidence, he collected, he calmed down the attack as well. And he made a couple of good saves, made that strong hand, didn't he, onto the bar as well. And I just thought he was superb. I don't know what you thought about him, Ben, but obviously 4 League One clubs in a year. Doncaster, Accrington, Peterborough and Lincoln. He could be having 2 promotions in one season. So it'll be an interesting one.
Do you ever get it where you judge a player unfairly on a first impression? I've done that with Bursick now for the longest time. I saw him come in for Stoke in a game against Huddersfield, and I don't want to pile in on the pocket. Literally everything went in. It was like they had 2 shots and conceded 4 goals or something in that game. And ever since then, I've been like, Stoke need better backup. But no, I was happily proven wrong by the young guy, and he did really, really well, didn't he? So no goals in the first half in this one. Not too much going on. We did have Brennan Johnson. Who's that celebrating? Look behind there, who thinks it's in. Brennan Johnson hits the post. But that was one of there's hitting the post and there's hitting the post, isn't there? And that was a long ranger that was maybe covered. It came up in the chat. I don't know if you were feeling this, that Sunderland were moving the ball and having a bit of possession, but it was a bit fluffy and indecisive, whereas Lincoln looked a bit more decisive with runners with Scully and Grant. I thought there wasn't much in the first half, but perhaps Lincoln looked the bigger threat. I know that's easy with me to say with hindsight now, isn't it? But how were you feeling at half time at 0-0?
Well, I was watching the game and I was watching it with a Lincoln fan. I was very impressed with how Lincoln got after Sunderland, because they knew Sunderland would want the ball and they're not very comfortable, in possession around the back. And I thought Sunderland looked a bit poor with possession. They weren't moving it fast. They looked a bit nervous every time they got on the ball. I thought McGeady was probably their best player on the ball.
So deep though, Ben. He was coming into the pocket right deep midfield, wasn't he?
It was literally playing like the wingers were playing as a default right back, really, which is okay when you're winning. I know that's what Morecambe did last night, and it won, and it's effective. But when you're 0-0 in a playoff game, you need options to spring upon. I know Charlie White is that man, but he had nothing in the game, really, and was left frustrated. But like I say, Sunderland had the ball. Lincoln tried to get after them, but Lincoln in possession, every time they got it, they moved it forward quickly. They moved it with zing. They moved it with quickness and effectiveness, and hit the bar, hit the post, and they had great chances where I thought Sunderland didn't.
Sunderland start the second half quite well, just in respects of a couple of chances. There's the Bursick save that's poured up onto the post, and honestly, looking at that in the freeze frames, a bit incriminating. Bailey Wright should score there, shouldn't he? He's inside the 6-yard box. Bursick's done when you look at the header, hits the bar. Bit of a turning point there, Ben, those 2 chances both hitting the post.
Huge moment, Ben. You talk about League One and the Championship and at all levels, really. big teams, good teams create moments, and those moments normally go in, and that's how good teams go up. And Sunderland have pretty much relied on that this season, and it just didn't go their way. It's as simple as that. You have games like that, but I think Lincoln probably, deserve the look. They again at the other end hit the bar and hit the post. So you could say at one end it could be 4-0, at one end it could be 2-2. It's I thought the first 10 to 15 minutes of both halves like a game of basketball. It was like to me, to you, to me, to you, and it was like it was crazy. And those chances, you're right, Ben, he should do better with. But if it falls to a Charlie Wyke
I was just going to say that Wyke is scoring that, isn't he?
He is, and effectively in the box, he's very, very good. Most of his goals have come inside the box this season. So it would have been interesting to see if he scored it and got back to 2-1. But again, they have 10,000 fans there tomorrow at the Stade Millite, and be interesting. But like I say, if Lincoln go and get the first goal tomorrow, it could be a huge difference because Sunderland haven't won a game from behind this season.
Wow. Here is said first goal in this one. It's Hopper sticking it in at the back post. That doesn't really tell you the whole story because it's a long phase of play that starts with one really good bit of quality. It's one little ball by Johnson just sets them in. I thought it was quite a big chance that maybe Grant should have scored in the first instance. But it's one of those situations, Ben, where the team just can't get out. They can't get the ball clear. They're way too deep. They're sucked in. And as soon as Grant hits the second shot, there's two of them that could have put it in. But I did think it all stemmed from just, and we said it again, League One rudimentary. If you've got a player who can play that little ball through and split the defence over in the in the left back position, which Johnson did, then that's often where things stem from, isn't it? Your thoughts on the first goal?
It was very, very clever, and that ball is probably very, very difficult to work with because it's bending. Is it going in? Do you think, could the keeper deal with it? And then, no, it's sneaking in. And there was Tom Hopper. And Sky did a thing, he stat during the game. He hadn't scored in 12 games. But again, he reminds me a lot like Dave McGoldrick. He might not score the goals, but his effect on that Lincoln side was unbelievable. To get into that small pocket to score the goal, he held everything up, didn't he? And again, was crucial to where they did. But that first goal was a proper striker's goal, a great assist by Johnson and Grant, and again split Sunderland, and Sunderland had it all to do.
And the second goal, look, is I've tried to watch this one many, many times and figure at which point it goes so badly wrong. Look, the back pass back is not overly terrible.
No.
The keeper, I mean, you can't, looking at the freeze frame there, you can't really be saying, he should definitely put it in field where, it would be more dangerous. And there's not really an angle for him to just stick it out for a throw in. I guess it's just a bit hapless, a bit unlucky. Johnson needs some credit for closing down. And of course, as was rightly pointed out, if there'd been VAR, this would have been disallowed, wouldn't it? Because it was kicked against his arm as well. But no VAR. It's just a bit of a weird one, Ben, because I'm looking at it and on the surface, I'm like, that's a horror show, that goal. And then when I analyse it back, maybe it's just a bit unlucky and a bit hapless. There's no massive mistake in there, is there?
No, there isn't. And I said to you about 10 minutes ago, didn't I? Lincoln, every time someone got on the ball, they wanted to press, and they were getting something, even if it was a throw in, a free kick, or winning the ball back. There, you press down the goalkeeper, you score a goal. I love it when players go to press. Paddy Madden did that really well for Fleetwood. Pressing forward, you get something, especially in League One. Players will make mistakes, and Burrs does that. Maybe needs to look up a bit more, but he's trying just to smash it down the field. And again, comes off. The Lincoln man goes in 2-0, and they have it all to do. But a bit unfortunate, a bit lucky for Lincoln, but great pressing from Lincoln.
Yeah, I think I agree that you make your luck, don't you? And if you can consistently pressing, then one of them's going to bounce for you, and it just happened to be the one that bounced pretty much straight into the goal, wasn't it? So 2-0, and Sunderland didn't really force too much in terms of getting anything back. They looked a bit punch drunk actually after the after the second goal. There's the numbers which tell us that Sunderland had 60 on the possession, but didn't really do a lot with it. 18 shots, 3 on target. And again, I know XG or big chances is not a golden bullet. It doesn't tell us everything. It can be very revealing. And look, 3 big chances to 1. And yes, we do need to acknowledge hit would work twice for Sunderland. Fair result, Ben?
I think Lincoln deserved to win 2-0. I'm not quite sure, but a 1-0 win would have suited the game more. You know, you look at Sunderland, they did create chances, like you see at the bar twice in a couple of minutes. You know, they have a couple of chances that go over the bar with Aidan McGeady, but Lincoln also create chances as well. So it was a good game to watch, you know, end to end, you know, good chances created. But I do agree with you. I think maybe a bit harsh on Sunderland at 2-0. But again, a mistake's done it, and they have it all to do at the Stadium of Light, where they've been all right this season, but they've drawn too many games.
It's playoffs for you, isn't it? Hey, goes to 2 goals, and you're just done, aren't you? Right, we're going to talk in just a minute about the next games, which are obviously very, very heavily weighted now in favour of 2 of the sides. Pop your predictions in. Can anyone give any kind of rational argument for an Oxford win or a Sunderland win? It feels very, very hard. But get your comments in. Then we'll go to some questions to finish off. Just very, very quickly, please indulge me. Well, I talked to you about Cards Plug, and you can get yourself 20% off one of these bad boys over at cardsplug.com/Bloom. Make sure you go in the tradesman's entrance. Enter the discount code Bloom at checkout. What would your physicality be, Ben? Would it be better than 67?
Well, look at these, mate. I think it's pure 99, mate.
That's tremendous. 20% off your order at Cardsplug. Cardsplug.com/Bloom. Enter discount code Bloom for checkout. Thank you, everybody who's gone to have a look. And those people who've gone and bought one, they'll send it to you next day delivery. Wall fixing kit and all of that good stuff. So real good fun product, especially if you've got gamers in the family. Quick plug as well. We will be back tonight for, God, too many games. Right, I've got to get the right order now, Ben. So we're doing Blackpool, Oxford tonight. Please nod, I've got that right. Yes. And then lunchtime tomorrow. God, there's 3 games. We've got Brentford, Bournemouth, followed by Sunderland and Lincoln, and Ben may be making an appearance there at some point. And then in the evening, it's Swansea versus Barnsley. And then I'm going to sleep for 14 hours after all of this is done and get set for the playoff finals the following weekend. So look, get your comments in, get your predictions in for the remaining games. Have you heard about this? McGeady may be withdrawn from the game. That's like
do it. He's played 29 starts.
That's Ipswich levels of contract ineptitude. That, I mean, that would be ridiculous, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, he's a star man. They don't want him a new deal. Like 29 starts. You know how much he's done for them this season. 14 assists and 4 goals. I think you just have to think, do it. You know what I mean? Do it. You know, it's worth. Some of a rich owner now. You know, I'd do it. I think he's a big loss if he's not in their team.
I just don't get this business. It's like when I get my car insurance done, and you do the windscreen excess thing, and you sit there and you go, oh, if I make the windscreen excess £1,000, my premium goes right down. Well, if I smash my windscreen, I've got to pay £1,000. I signed up for that then, didn't I? And it's like, well, if you're going to offer him an extra year on 30 games, you got to be thinking, oh, what if we get to the playoffs? What if it's, you know, what if this situation is a bit of a perfect storm against them? But don't sign the contract if you can't do it. But there we go. Any predictions in here? Iain, know through personal experience how fickle the Mackham fans are when things aren't going their way, and they don't tend to go their way in the playoffs, do they? There you go. Liam's going for the all-around. Get over to Betfair for that one, Liam. You'll get a lovely price on that. Okay. So a couple of people think Sunderland to win 3-1 on the night and scrape through on pens. Unbelievable. Blackpool 3-2, that'd be fun. 1-1, 2-0 extra time pens, you love to see it. 2-1 Blackpool over Oxford, Sunderland 2-1. 2-0 Blackpool, Lincoln 1-0. Oxford done, but Sunderland scoring the first hour and all to play for. Yeah, everyone looks at that scenario, don't they? Get a goal in the first 5 minutes and everything changes, doesn't it? Sophie, Blackpool, Lincoln in the final. So, look, talk to me about tonight then, Ben. Is there any possibility in our wildest dreams that can even get it to extra time with a 3-0 deficit here?
Well, we're being a Fleetwood fan, might be in my dreams, but no. I do think Oxford will come out and attack. And do I think Oxford will score? Yes, I do. They've not scored against Blackpool in the previous 3 meetings, being 0-0, 2-0 and 3-0. I do think they'll score first, but I do think it'll be a draw, unfortunately, a 1-1. Blackpool are very stern. I think Blackpool will be very cautious in the way they play. Will try and hit Oxford on the counter. And I do think Blackpool will be a bit nervy. But I think Oxford will just miss out, unfortunately. That first leg, they kill you, unfortunately, when you lose by 3. If it was 2-0, I think it's a different game. But with it being 3, I think it'll be a draw, very close. But Oxford are going to come out like wounded animals, really.
Can you really see an entire 19 minutes where either Yates or Sims doesn't score?
No, I really can't. I think it'd be one of those, or Sully Kai. Then you got, Elliot Embleton in behind. You've got, lots of goals. Gary Medine coming back as well. So, they've got goal threats from all over. They can bring Medine on if they need something to hold the ball up. A bit of release from defence. So I can't see Blackpool not scoring, if I'm honest with you, Ben.
Sure. Get your comments in, predictions as well, questions, and we can do a little bit of back and forth. Once we've spoken about Sunderland and Lincoln, which is going to be tomorrow in the middle of the 2 championship games. I suppose, look, Lincoln are hot favourites, but like you said, there is this scenario, fans in there, McGeady, if they stick him on the pitch and Wyke, and a goal in the first half, and it changes it, but they have to score first, don't they?
Yeah, they have to. And if they score first, Lincoln will get nervous. I know people say they don't, they won't. They've only lost 4 times away all year. 13 wins in there as well, the best in the division. But if they score first, Lincoln will get a bit cautious. I know Tranmere were hot off the heels yesterday against Morecambe. Morecambe did catch on the counter and score, but they'll get a bit nervous, Lincoln, and the crowd will roar. It will be up, and then again, Lincoln and Sunderland have quite a bit of time to go and get that second goal, and then Lincoln have to come out then and possibly go and get something, and it leaves gaps for McGeady, it leaves gaps for White, even Ledbetter thought was okay when he came on the other day, can find something in behind. So I think Sunderland need to score early, and if they do score early, I think it's theirs to go on and win.
And how much money would you be prepared to stake against a Blackpool-Lincoln final? It just does seem so odds on, doesn't it?
It does. I think Blackpool are through. I really do. I think Blackpool will win the playoffs. I've said that a few times now. I just think they're the best team in it. Lincoln and Sunderland are a good team. It can beat anyone on their day. But Blackpool have just got everything going for them. Score goals, keep clean sheets, great defensive record, good against the top 6, and very, very calm on the ball as well, and play it simple, don't they?
Brilliant stuff. We will hang around if there are any questions. So get any questions in now and we will answer as many as we possibly can. Liam, what do you make of Kenny Jackett to Orient? So Kenny Jackett was obviously at Pompey. One of these situations where an experienced manager is not very popular at a big club. Just talk to me a bit about Pompey, Kenny Jackett and Orient.
Portsmouth want a team that not necessarily win games of football every week. They want a team that are, if they're losing well. And, they're going till the end, not giving up, fighting, scoring goals, looking at threat. And they never really looked like that under Jackett. When they did, they were okay. But most of the time when they lost, they were dull, and they were beaten quite well, really, even though the scoreline would say different. I remember Doncaster, they lost 2 or 3-1, and he goes, it's a good way to lose. It's not a good way to lose, Portsmouth Football Club. Whereas Cowley when they lost to Burton. We should not be losing games at Fratton Park. That's what the Portsmouth fans want to hear. But Jackie's got promotions on his CV. He did it with Wolves, didn't he, as well? He did it, he's come close with Portsmouth, I think it's 2 playoffs out of, is it 3? And, he's done okay, but I think he'll do well for Rory in League 2.
Sure. Lee, purely for the rest of the division, commercially wise, you must imagine Sunderland would be happy. Clubs would be happy for Sunderland to stay down, especially those in the north of England, wouldn't they? Look, I know you can't rely on away fans per se, but some League One clubs do, don't they? It's about Oxford, Ipswich turning up, Sunderland, Pompey with a lot of fans, which they haven't got this season. A lot of beer gets sold, a lot of tickets get sold. And I think Lee's probably right, isn't he? That there'd be a lot of clubs be quite pleased to see Sunderland staying down for that reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've not only got that, you've got 1,000 fans coming down to Fleetwood. A lot of them will want to drink and will come into your bar, buy food, make a day of it, and come and spend money in your town as well. So it's not just for the football club, it's for your town, really. So I think it's, a huge kind of benefit. You've also got, like you say, Portsmouth, Ipswich, Bolton, Blackpool could possibly stay down as well. So there's a lot of big clubs that, we've missed out on away day revenue, but I'd love it if Sunderland could stay down. And like you want Sunderland to go up for your channel, then I want Sunderland to stay down for my channel.
Yeah, and I didn't get Newcastle or West Ham or anyone coming down either, did I? So there we go. Iain, are Fleetwood giving Kyle Vassell a contract? That's very niche. I know nothing about it, so you go ahead, Ben.
Vassell did all right when he came in. He scored 4 goals in 25 games, in a struggling side. He was actually one of our top goal scorers in 2021. We were the lowest goal scorers just behind Ipswich up until the final day. And he wasn't great. He held the ball up well. He worked hard, but he didn't score enough goals, and he was wasteful in front of goal. But I hope we don't. I don't wish him any harm, but I don't think he's League One level, unfortunately.
Cavi, a little bit off topic, but who do you think Watford should sign? Watford strongly linked with Ashley Fletcher. We know that's a very likely link now, isn't it? Didn't Watford, Ben, sign the guy from Rochdale earlier in the week?
Yeah, was it Barr?
Yeah, he's the kind of wonder kid, is he?
Yeah, been very impressive this season. Rochdale are always a struggling side, but if you look at their squad in the last 3 or 4 years, they've actually had some decent players that have gone on to decent clubs. Ian Henderson scored a lot of goals, now scoring at Salford. Morley in midfield still there. You look at Luke Mattheson, who's now at Wolves Academy. You look at Dooley, another decent player. Callum Camps, decent League One player. They've actually not got a bad side that they can sell players on. It's just they don't really reinvest that back into the team, unfortunately.
Mark, what's the state of play for Sunderland should they be faced with a 4th season, God forbid, in League One? New owners, but plenty of big name players out of contract. Have the new owners got enough enthusiasm and big enough pockets to, add another couple of seasons on that 3 that there's already been if they do stay down?
Yeah, I think he'll be patient. He's only just come in this season, and I think maybe that will do them well, getting Power, Maguire and Scowen. I know that's crazy of me to say, but sometimes when you do get rid of some big name players and you refresh, you go again. Maybe not get big players, maybe someone like a Camps at a Fleetwood, or someone that is a League One player that is proven in League One, instead of going to get a Championship or an ex-Premier League player, because then expectation comes and then everyone goes, Sunderland throwing money at it again, not doing it. But if they do it the other way that I suggested, I think there'll be less pressure and they'll know the league how to get out of it. But I think Sunderland have to get out of it soon, because the owners won't want to stick around for ages. And just mad to think with Ben with Sunderland. I was looking before, they went unbeaten in 12, and we talk about streaky Lee, unbeaten in 12 to 1 win in 10. It's like, I think they only drew 3 of those 12 as well. So winning 9 out of 12 to go and winning 1 out of 10. It's quite a turnaround.
The Bristol City fans are admitting it now. Now that he's not at Bristol City anymore, they're happy with the streaky Lee moniker. Sophie, assuming Blackpool do win the playoffs, how will the 3 promoted League One clubs do next season? Peterborough, Hull, and, well, say it's Blackpool.
I think Peterborough will do the best out of the newly promoted teams. They remind me a lot like Leeds do when they went into the Premier League, a breath of fresh air. They play good football. They've got owners willing to invest into the side. They've got a manager that knows the division, but also in games against the bigger sides. We talked about it last week, Ben. They could go and concede 4 or 5 goals and then lose 4 or 5 nil, and that's a hamper on your goal difference, hamper on confidence. I think Peterborough will I think they'll all stay up, if I'm honest with you. I think Blackpool will add. I think the biggest worry for Blackpool is a lot of their better players are on loan. Can they get them? I know, Dan Ballard's on loan. You've got Embleton on loan as well. You've got Gabriel on loan, who are all good players.
Ben, can I? Sorry to interrupt. Can I parlay that in? That's quite a good link because Mark's asking about high quality loan players. You can talk to me about the tension between what you've just said and having a new team every year. And Scott Parker said the same for Fulham. And, people like Sims and Rogers and Johnson he's naming, making the big difference. So I guess you need to get them, but not too many, right?
Yeah, because if you get 4 or 5 of them, your whole squad's ruined. I think Fleetwood are a perfect example of it, Ben. I really do, because last year, Fleetwood had a great squad. Well, you look at it, our back 3, Suter, Connolly, Gibson, all on loan. Then you look at your midfield, your strikers as well. Barry Mackay on loan. We had Thorvaldsen who came in for a bit on loan. We had Dunn from Burnley who did all right when he came in for a little bit on loan. So I do agree. I think 3 is a sweet number because you can replace them. 4 or 5 is difficult because you're trying to get the same quality and you can't always do that. But yeah, you look at Blackpool's loans, Sims as well, good player. And even Lincoln's, it'd be hard for them to go again, with the loans that they've got. Johnson there as well being a key player.
And I always call them the cheat codes. There's a handful, Mitrovic, Abraham, Brewster, where if you get that one player, you're just flying, aren't you? Sonny Bradley off to Ipswich. We think it might be done. I'll keep my powder dry until that one's confirmed. Yeah, I hope so. And their other centre half, Pearson, one of their other centre halves from when they came up, has gone to Huddersfield, or was very close to going. I don't know. I think he might have gone.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, it was announced yesterday.
Right. Okay. God, I need to do a transfer update. Bar was set to something. Failed his medical. Interesting. Plot thickens. What are you hoping for Fleetwood next season, Ben?
Anything better than this season? I'd take the top 12. That'd be a great season for us. We lost a lot of games this year. We went on an awful run after January where I think we only won 1 game in 11 or 12 games and we weren't scoring goals. I think we scored 5 goals in 13 games. I was working it out and it wasn't pretty to watch. We've got Grayson in. I'm not his biggest fan, I'll be honest with you, but he's done it in League One before. Obviously, like at Leeds United, he did very well at Preston, okay at Blackpool the first time, but then not so well at basket clubs in Bradford and Sunderland. And yeah, I think if he gets his own players, and I think we'll have an okay first season under him, and we'll have to go again the year after to see how we do.
Iain, who knows a lot about Rotherham, great subscriber. How do you think they'll get? Another 90 points for Rotherham and top 2 next season then?
Yeah, I think it all depends on, obviously, Vaughan was wanting to take a break. I think he'll have this summer refresh and go again. He's a big character to the way they play. And I think out of any signings, Paul Vaughan signing will be the best thing they can do this summer. And then bring a couple of players to add in. They've not got a bad squad. They've not got bad apples in it like they had a few years ago when they came down with that awful squad. So I think they'll go add a few players, maybe get a few on loan as well from the Premier League / Championship and hopefully improve. But I do think Rotherham will go back up again, whether that was through the playoffs or the top 2.
Just know the deal, don't they, Rotherham?
Yeah.
In League One. Right. Thank you, everybody. I think that will just about do us for this one today. Ben, plug your channel and streams and Twitter and where we're going to find you over the rest of the playoff period.
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, I'm a League One YouTuber. I also cover Fleetwood Town as well, but mainly League One, your best of, top 10, talking about signings. So if you can go and drop me a sub, it's Cods Vlog, CODS VLOGS. Any support is appreciated. I'm trying to get to 7,000 very, very soon. So you can drop me a sub free to do so. And I also run League One stats similar to Ben on my Twitter, which is FTFC Nap. So if you want to go and give any of those a follow or a sub, that'd be hugely appreciated.
Yeah, get involved, go in and support Ben, trying to shine a bit of a light on League One. Some big clubs in there as well, so well worth getting involved down there. Guys, if you want to shout out before we go, stick them in the comments and we'll give you a shout out. As usual, this was a preview show, so thank you to the Donovan brothers who sponsor all our preview shows in loving memory of Michael Donovan, South East London lifelong Millwall fan, admirer of this show. You can get involved over on Patreon as well, like the Donovans did, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Please, while you're still here, like the video, subscribe, ring the bell, and we will wrap this up. Are we back next? Should we do it at the end of next week as well? Ben will speak about the two semis and the final. Is the final on Sunday for League One?
I think it's a Saturday. It's the 30th. So, it could be.
Yeah, so I think Championship's on the Saturday, and then so we will be across that. And the plan is for Ben to be involved. So many people have asked for dearly departed League One version, so we're going to try and figure out a way that doesn't run me into the ground, and I can lean on Ben's League One expertise to try and bring that for you. For all of the, well, mainly Sheffield Wednesday fans who are asking. There's another big club you can talk about. All the Wednesday fans who are asking me to look at that. Right, let's get some shout outs. How did you do that? That was
I
very
just put it
smart.
on my computer.
Didn't even see you typing then. Impressive.
I know. No luck, mate. No luck.
Everything gets by me. Well done, Leeds 2021. Iain, Liam, Chris, Lee, Sophie, Dean, Leeds, Tony. I'm not saying thank you to you because you're there in front of me, Martin. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we will see you very soon. And it's a big, lovely League One style over and out from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button, and to be notified every time we upload, ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.